Something that's not that positive is card fraud. It's become commonplace here in South Africa as load shedding affects us all. To combat this, the Payments Association of South Africa has started imposing fines on companies who have not signed up to 3D secure verification. What is this verification? Well, it's the layer that makes sure the cardholder is who they say they are, that the merchant receives their payments as they should, and that fraud is given the cold shoulder right from the outset. Now, to tell us more, we are joined from Cape Town by PayU CEO Johan Dekker. Good morning, Johan. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Evan. Good morning to the viewers out there. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Johan, let's start with just how safe the online shopping space is in South Africa. We hear terrible reports, don't we?
Yeah, unfortunately, the news out there is not that great for the online guys. I think we need to be careful how we view this. If you look at some of the stats that have come out, so there's a 23% increase in 2013-2014 in online fraud, and it equates to about 450 million in the year. I think, if speaking on behalf of the merchants, the online merchants done a lot in terms of curbing online fraud. A lot of what we're seeing is that the cards and the data get skimmed offline and then come and used online. And I think that's the rollout of 3D Secure implemented by PASA will bring a barrier of entry to the fraudsters that I think greatly would reduce that fraud risk coming into the online world.
Tell us about 3D Secure and how 3D Secure is going to change the game for us, the consumers.
So in essence, as you stated before, 3D Secure is a second factor auth mechanism that makes use of not just the card data that the user have in terms of what they have got on them, but as well as another authentication layer via SMS or OTP PIN or an ATM PIN or a password that the user then authenticates their transaction. And in that way, it will change the space for the fraudsters to come online, and they not just only need the card to skimmed or the card data to do the fraud, but also hold of the user's phone, and that creating the barrier to entry. From terms of the user experience, often the security and the ease of use are at odds with one another. But I think in the case of 3D Secure, it brings in that extra security layer that would create a more secure environment for everybody online, and it would benefit not just only the users but also the merchants, bringing more comfort to the online experience.
How are we going to educate customers on the benefits of 3D Secure, and where would an individual then get access to this kind of information and to the technology?
So I think in terms of education is key. It's one of the key drivers of adoption of any new technology in the space. We urge all our merchants, we give them questions and answers to what they need to put on their site to educate their users. I think also more need to be done in mass media like this forum to educate users of the process and the change and how they will do online transaction. I know the issuing banks has also sent out communication to their cardholders to inform them of the change in process and what the steps are, so that when the user comes online that he's familiar with that process and doesn't drop out, because up to date users have been sort of communicated to them that if you're not clear of the process or you're not comfortable, that you should rather not continue. And we need to create that comfort with this new process that ultimately benefits not just the consumer but also the merchants.
Johan, are you confident that this is going to be the magic bullet that's going to secure our finances online?
I think 3D Secure will goes a great way to securing the online transactions, but like in any, it's a cat and mouse game with the fraudsters. There's no silver bullet here. I think merchants still need to have a comprehensive anti-risk strategy and deploy not just only 3D Secure, but there's fraud engines, there's antivirus on the environment, firewall protection, and also just watch out the transactions, look for patterns in their transactions. Again, 3D Secure, I think it's a brilliant program to raise the bar of entry, but you know, it's an evolving game and innovation is key.
Johan, what other advice can you give to our consumers out there who are bombarded with technology, new technology, information and the like in the online space? How do you keep it simple and safe?
I think users need to go to trusted sites, use trusted merchants. And if they're uncertain about a merchant, going onto a merchant for the first time is to do a little bit of homework. Search and read up on the merchant, look at the merchant terms in terms of what's their return policies, and also look for 3D Secure implementation on the merchant, which will also be an indicator that it's a trusted merchant that have integrated into 3D Secure and using security mechanisms to de-risk their transaction.
Johan, thank you very much for helping us with that kind of information. It is certainly very worrying. The last year alone, we've seen a 23% increase in South African issued credit card fraud. The number is up to above 450 million rand, and if it continues on this graph, we are all at risk. Thank you once again for joining us. That's the COO of PayU, Johan Dekker, joined us live there from Cape Town to talk about the scourge that is card fraud that is very much on the rise here in South Africa.